I don't think we need to be like super crazy. It's just our friends watching. What was I going to say? Oh, with people watching, you really, really don't know who's watching you. Like I just recently, especially the amount of people who have said like, I've been watching your journey for the last couple of years, or I've been watching your journey. I'm like, what? Who? You? I haven't talked to you in like since high school or since elementary school. You've been watching me. And so people are watching. They just are waiting for that right moment that fits their life for them to come forward.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, you can't force anybody to be ready. There's people who we wish were ready when we're all like gung ho about it and like, oh, this would be so good for you. But like, you can't force somebody to wake up at 5 and like do a workout or to post or to drink a shake even. But you just never know. Like, I just signed up somebody who is a friend of mine from high school. I reached out to her a couple times over the years, and then she was just like, okay, I'm ready. And it was just like, boom, it's like people, the more you post, you're in the people's like the back of their head. So they might think of you if they are wanting to start something. Hopefully you're the one that's going to come to their forefront. And, that's the best you can do.
I didn't realize I was already unmuted. Okay, so I'm starting with Facebook tips, and that's the majority of what I have. And then Instagram, I have a couple general things. And then I was hoping Courtney and Steph, you could kind of jump in on that. Unlike what Courtney just said, I recommend starting on Facebook because that's your warm market. That's the people that you know best, the people that already trust you. And so if posting is already overwhelming to you and social media is already overwhelming to you, I say focus on one thing, and my choice would be Facebook. It's the only thing I'm focusing on right now, even because I dropped off of Instagram with my pregnancy stuff, and it would be a whole explanation to get myself going again on there. And so I'm just focusing on Facebook right now because I can get back into my warm market on there. Post in your stories. I know some people were asking how to post in their stories and how to do polls in their stories. Feel free to message me and I can send you screenshots of that. But basically it's at the top of your screen. You see everybody else's stories, hit the plus button. And then if you scroll across the top, one of them says polls, or when you post a picture of yourself, if you scroll up on the picture, it gives you the option to add music or the temperature or the time. And one of the options under there is polls. I do recommend putting a poll in your story every day, if not every other day. It doesn't need to be all Beachbody related. It can be, what do you think? Which hair color should I dye my hair? Or it could be a poll about your kids or something that relates to you. It's just to get interaction on your stories and people seeing your stories. And it kind of gives you an idea of who's watching you. Try to do a meaningful post every day. It doesn't have to be meaningful, but get a post up every day that isn't just something you shared from somebody else. So it can even be an inspirational quote with an eye-catching picture, or I do try to get into some deeper posts at least a couple times a week. And then a couple times a week, I also make sure I add an invite to the end of my post. My posts are not always about Beachbody. They're not always fitness. It shouldn't be you working out every day. But I do try to at least get probably 4 posts at least a week related to the wellness journey. And then at least I'm trying to get at least 2 a week now focused on coaching, because I want to also share that opportunity, because coaching is what really makes this journey what it is for me. I can help you with those invites at the end too, if you'd like. And then another social media tip, especially for Facebook, is to go through and comment on, I know we talked about this before, but go through, comment and like on people's things, because the more you interact with other people, the more Facebook thinks they want to interact with you. Go through, it doesn't have to just be the people that show up in your feed when you're scrolling, but go through your stories and comment on people's stories. Just click on them and go to their profiles. Like, expand your horizons. And earlier, I think Courtney mentioned adding people on Instagram, but you can do the same thing on Facebook. Facebook will tell you who people you may know. Add them. I add like almost all the women that I have over 50 friends with or whatever, and just add them. I can't tell you how many times one of my best friends like, oh, you're mutual friends with this person. How do you know them? And I'm like, Facebook? Like, I don't know. But I've also become friends with some of those people now, or they've joined us now. So just go through and add them. I usually try to like make sure they're not already a Beachbody coach or something along those lines. As I said, watch stories and interact with people. And then the other really big major one that I'm seeing some of my newer girls doing, and I want to make sure that I just say for other people, is when people ask what you're doing, like, I don't need you to like completely, some people recommend this like curiosity marketing where you don't say you're drinking Shakeology, you don't say you're doing Beachbody, you don't mention any of the words. I don't mind if you do, but it shouldn't just be, hey, I do Beachbody, or hey, look, I'm drinking my Shakeology. Like, you need to be the solution for people. So when people ask you like, hey, what is that? Like, you're holding a water bottle with your Bevy mixed in it, right? And they're like, hey, what is that? Don't just be like, it's Beachbody, right? Explain what it is. Like, explain it as it's a drink that cuts my cravings. It's whatever. It's called Bevy. Like, you are welcome to use the words, but it better include the explanation. So when people say like, what is your wellness journey, or what is this wellness group, or whatever, I'll say something like, I'm part of an amazing accountability group or wellness community of beautiful women who lift each other up and cheer each other on and use Beachbody for our workouts and nutrition. Still use the word Beachbody, but it was encompassed in what this is. It's bigger than just, hey, I signed up for Beachbody. So make sure you include that. Same thing with the shakes, right? Like, give it the solution. I drink this superfood shake because it helps with my digestive issues. And it's called, you can say it's called Shakeology if you don't want to not use the words, but basically that's, instead of just saying, oh, it's Shakeology, that doesn't help anybody. Like, explain the solution. Make sure you're getting in there and saying it's got adaptogens, it's got phytonutrients, it's got probiotics or whatever. Make it what it is instead of just a word, right? Like, if someone said, oh, who are you? And I just said Jessica, that's all you get to know about me. That's not what they mean. They want to know who you are, right? So you got to add that stuff. And so it's the same thing with this. Give who it is and what it is, not just the name of it. And then, actually, do you guys want to say anything else about Facebook? And then I'll just give my like real quick outline of Instagram.
Can I just jump in and just give a little anecdote? So sometimes people are turned off by the words Shakeology or Beachbody because they've heard about it, or they did like, whatever, like Insanity years and years ago on the tapes or DVDs or whatever. And something that really like stuck out to me was we were at this like coaching event. Jess, you were there with me, and Carl Deichler, like the CEO of the company, he was like, what did he say? Like, or stand up if you think that you have a beach body. And like nobody stood up. But then like he was like, stand up if you're taking care of yourself and you're doing the best that you can to care for you and your family and your loved ones and the people all around you. If you're doing the best that you can, stand up. And everybody in the room stood up because we were all coaches. And he was like, that is what Beachbody is. That is what it is. It's inspiring other people and it's taking care of yourself. And ever since then, I was like, not afraid to like use the word Beachbody or whatever. And I really try to like change people's views of those words, because like people have just preconceived notions. Oh, I could never be a Beachbody. It's like, no, that's not what this is. So anyways, I just had that thought.
I want to add a little bit about the like adding a friend of a friend, or like adding somebody from like a mom group or a random, like if you're in a group that is something you're interested in, like crocheting or whatever, add people like Jess was saying. And at first that felt really like weird and creepy to me. Like, I don't even know this person. Why am I going to add them? But you're adding people who either have interest that you have or that know people that you know. So it's not weird. And the other thing I want to say about doing this, it used to feel icky to me. Now it doesn't, because I know, okay, either I'm going to be friends with them, or they're just going to see my stuff and not care, or they're going to end up wanting to join. And I'm not adding them as a friend to try to poach their, like, I'm not trying to get them. I'm not preying on them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like MLMs get a really bad rap for like preying on people. I never do that. And I don't think any of us do. It's more like I added, I'm a twin mom, and I added a twin mom friend from a twin group. We have talked a lot. She just had her twins, super cute, by the way. They're like 6 weeks old. We've talked all the way through. I've never mentioned Beachbody, but I struck up a conversation with her because now, because I'm thinking like, maybe sometime down the line, she's going to need what we do. And I just made a new friend too. Like it's, she may come back and be like, oh yeah, Beachbody, let's do it. I see you doing this. What are you doing? You're a twin mom. You did it. Maybe I could do it. And then the other side of it is she may not. I don't care. But either way, it's like, it's just a good way to network and reach out and, don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, no, I meant to add that earlier in like my day. I'm like, and then I spend a bunch of times in the gaps talking to friends. Like that's my coaching day. When we were talking about our day in the life of a coach, I'm like, I make a bunch of friends and get to talk to people and have a life outside of being a mom and a teacher. Really quick, I just have a couple very general Instagram tips, and then I'd like for my Instagram majors here to take over. And then also, if you can figure out TikTok, go for it. Do it. I have no idea, and I need to figure it out. I feel
I'm obsessed
so
with TikTok. I love TikTok.
So Jen is your TikTok guru, so go to her. But I'm like, what? But the biggest thing is on Instagram, I can say is do hashtags that relate to you, not hashtag Beachbody, not hashtag fitness journey. Something more relatable to you. I mean, you can say weight loss journey if that's what you're on or something like that, but make sure your hashtags are things about you, relatable to you. Also use hashtags in Instagram stories. Another one is if you're on Instagram, you can send your stories directly to Facebook and double dip. And then I take my Facebook posts and copy and paste them into Instagram and just add hashtags. So it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. You could do the same thing in both places. And the other thing, and I don't know, algorithms are always changing on Instagram, but focusing on like 10 main hashtags, not filling your post with like 40 hashtags, helps on Instagram make your stuff more seeable, makes you more of a real person instead of somebody who's just trying to blow up their post places. So I recommend using 10 focused hashtags. And that's all I wrote down for Instagram. So you guys are up.
Do you want to go first, Steph, or you want me to? Okay. Okay. So I started Instagram with 0 followers and now I'm almost at 700. It's taken me a while. The biggest tips I have are finding your people who are interested in the things that you're interested in and the things that you are about. So, like when I go to find new followers, what I do, because the whole thing is like you get more followers, you get more eyes on your page, you get more people watching your stories or liking your posts, then you can reach out to all of those people without it being like icky and weird and cold, right? Like it's more like, hey, I saw you liked my post. I'm a wellness coach, I'd love to connect with you. What do you do? Just like it, not always like, hi, join my group. Like that, you never want to do that, just for the record. It doesn't go over well. But to get new followers, what I do is I will go through and I'll find like, okay, I'll type in twin mom for hashtag, because you can search by hashtags in Instagram. That's why hashtags are important. That's what that does. So when people are searching, people use Instagram like a search engine. If they're looking for something, if you're looking for a recipe on butternut squash, you can type that in under search and everything with butternut squash tagged will pop up. So if somebody's looking for like twin mom or like twin skin, like how do I get rid of this damn twin skin or whatever, my posts are possibly going to pop up, right? So that's how they find you. But then as far as finding people, same way, you would go into a hashtag, search for whatever it is. I'll keep using twin skin, which is, just saggy skin on your belly after having twins, to clarify. And I will look for people who've done posts. And then I'll go into that post and find people who liked it, and I'll friend all those people. You have to find the real people, not the big like 15,000 follower account, because they're not going to be interested in buying what you're selling or what you're doing because they're already selling their own thing. Like you're looking for the person who's got like 300 followers, who's like, you can tell they're like, just like you, like they'll have in their description, like for me, I'm looking for like mom, based in the US or based in the UK or France. Like it has to be certain countries to even be able to do Beachbody, just for the record. Like, funny story, let me share this with you. I had a girl all set to coach for me, super excited about the whole thing, like jazzed. And this was going to be my first coach ever. I was like, yay. We get talking. I'm like, wait, where are you? And she's like, I'm in Botswana. And I was like, you're where? And I was heartbroken because she was so excited. Like she's doing her own stuff with like nutrition classes. And I told her what we do. And she's like, this is what I've been looking for. It's like amazing. And I was like, I know, right? And it's just so funny, but like definitely check that. But on the plus side, she's now a really good friend and we talk like every other day on Instagram. So that's kind of cool. But for Instagram, I'm losing my thread a little bit because I'm getting chatty, but the main thing is getting followers who like the same things that you do or who are relatable to you, and then reaching out to them when they interact with your content. And then also just like Facebook, the algorithms are similar where you need to interact with their stuff for them to see you. And, you know, it's like a feedback loop as far as I understand. But the Instagram stuff does change a lot. So you have to kind of be up on what's new with Instagram. There's always articles out there. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I'll throw it to Steph. So.
Hey, I was just curious because first, this post that I wrote totally last minute last night, because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do a post. It's now, I used hashtags. It's now, I just checked my reach, 3,381 accounts reached, and my post has 136 likes. And it was just like a random, like, hey, I wanted to post something inspirational, but I have a lot of anxiety right now. So
that was a great post.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. That was
like pulled it out in like 4 minutes. And I was just like, but I used like whatever I'm going to save these hashtags I use because my other hashtags were not working at all for me. So yeah, Instagram is funny. Like one of my posts will get like 35 likes, and then like yesterday's I'll have like 150. Like it's crazy. But okay, now I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Importance of hashtags. I also do the same thing as Courtney. I go through and like I live in a RV, and so I'll go through and I'll look at those huge accounts for people who like have remodeled RVs and whatnot. And then I look at who liked it, and then I look at their profile, and then I'll add them. One thing that has been working for me too is to actually make that initial connection, because a lot of the times if you just go on and you click like follow or you like one of their photos, a lot of people are like instant like, oh, like MLM or something like that, or like, why is this random person following me? So now I'll follow them, and then if I like I'll like maybe like one or two of their photos, and then I immediately send them a message and say like, hey, do you live in an RV too? Or I love your photos. Like, how long have you been full-time RVing, or something like that? And then just have to, you know, after looking at their profile and kind of like figuring it out. Same thing with I'm a flight attendant, so I'll do that with flight attendants as well. I'll be like, hey, if I can't tell from their profile, like, what airline do you work for? Or some just like really basic question, but you got to make sure it's a question. When I first started doing this, I would just be like, hey, thanks for the follow, or like if someone had followed me or something like that, or like, hey, just wanted to say hi and connect. People don't really respond to that. I've now gotten better at like actually asking them a question and starting a conversation, to actually like build the connection rather than just being like, hey, like, nice to meet you, or something like that. And that's kind of it. I've gotten a lot of followers from, I'll like tag, you can find accounts that will also, this is going to sound confusing. Maybe I shouldn't say, but like, so for like instance, like I am a flight attendant. And so there's a lot of accounts there that like feature flight attendants. So like I'll tag them in stuff, and then they'll actually either like post my photo or something to their story. I stopped doing that because I got a lot of creepers. But maybe for some of you, like if there's mom accounts or two, like with eating, I started following a lot of like plant-based stuff. And so there's like a lot of accounts too where they're like feature, you know, maybe like feature like a vegan recipe or something, and you can kind of like tag them. Or you can also tag like your favorite restaurants. If you are like going out to a restaurant and eating, you can post like a picture of your meal on your story and then tag that restaurant. And then a lot of people can also find you that way as well. That's all I can think of right now.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback off of you because I just remembered as you were saying that Colleen Curtis did a training one time on Instagram and just social media in general. And she was like, always do your location. Like not necessarily so people can like creep on you, but because like, well, she lives in like Lake Tahoe, California or somewhere amazing like that where it's a vacation spot. But she was saying that when you do that, if somebody's searching for like Lake Tahoe, like for me, it doesn't really work, like Lombard, whatever, like I'm by Chicago. So I put Chicago. I'll do that for my location tag a lot of times. If they're searching for Chicago, you will pop up. So, and this all is nitty gritty, guys. Like this is like when you get into it after you're comfortable with doing all of this stuff. Cause this is like, I don't want you to think like you have to hit the ground running and be able to do all of this tomorrow. Like these are just things to, you know, we're recording this, so we'll post it and you can come back to it and be like, what did they say? And just kind of absorb it as you're ready. But all of these things will help your following. The other thing I do with Instagram, I forgot to mention before, there's loops you can get into, like loops, or there's even accounts that people will start to promote you. And it's organic. It's not like those ones where you pay like $19 a month to get extra followers or whatever. But with Instagram, the more followers you have, the more power you have. You can add links to your stories. You can do like so much more. Like once you hit, I forget what the threshold is. I don't know if you know stuff, but for sure over 1,000.
10,000.
Okay, so 10,000 is the magic number. So if you can get that high, you have a lot more power with your reach and with tools and whatever. So the loops are good for just building your following. I'm trying to do that right now, and I've gotten over like 150 followers in 2 weeks from doing them. Now a lot of them are fitness people just like us, or wellness people or whatever, but that's okay. Like they're real people. They're not junk accounts. And I'm okay with that because then it's still going to help me in the long run, you know, and I'm still adding my people who are, you know, like the people I want to follow me, I'll go in and add them. But there's this ratio on Instagram of how many people you're following and how many people are following you. And if it's backwards, like if you're following like 3,000 people and only 400 are following you, that's not good. People are going to look at it and be like, oh, why aren't people following this person? So the more followers you get, it just makes you look a little more legit. So, and again, that's very nitty gritty. But also Steph was saying about sending messages to people. I do that too, but not for everybody. Because if you sent a message to every single person you friended, it's going to take forever or followed. So what I will do instead, and I'm not saying Steph does that necessarily with everybody, but I will go in, and if there's somebody who's very similar to me, like a twin mom, or like somebody who lives in Chicago, I'll be like, oh, hey, I see you're in Chicago. Like I used to live up in Buena Park. Where are you at? And it's just that instant connection of, I'm not talking about Beachbody. I'm not talking about anything with what I'm, you know, here to do, but I'm just making that connection. And that's really important for later on if they, you know, because it can take, and this tripped me up when I heard this the first time, it like blew my mind. It can take 6 months to a year for somebody to even be interested. Like we were saying earlier, they're watching you. They're watching you for a long time before they can actually commit. So forming that connection early and just getting, you know, you on their radar in whatever capacity, if they decide to join later, is very important.
Thanks, friends. I know. We love to share all of our knowledge, and sometimes I think we go overboard. Poor Faith trying to write it all down. At least you got a pretty marker to do it with. I took some notes though too on Instagram. I really hope that I'll get it going again. And Jen's gonna have to teach me TikTok because
Well, I have only a leg up because during quarantine, like I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna make an account. And so it became my like nightly vice. And I learned so much, like how to close a cereal box in a new way. And like,
saw that.
I mean, a lot of really, really special things. So it's actually hilarious. I love it. But I'm gonna need to pop off, you guys, because I have to take care of some school stuff.
No, I
So-
mean we can all go get sleep, go spend time with your kids, go work out, whatever you didn't do today, go do it. Thank you for being here, and anybody watching this after, thank you, and let us know. We're here for any questions, anything, any not beach bladder related things. We're here for you.
Definitely. Oh, I'm unmuted still. Yay. This is so nice though. I love this because even if we're sharing stuff that like some of us already know or whatever, it's just so nice to talk about it and hear everybody talking about it, even if it's something that I already do, but just feeling like, you know, we're doing the right thing. So I love it.
Well, and we never stop learning. There's always something new, right?
Yeah.
Like I learned something tonight from Steph. So that's, you know. Do you guys want to do a quick boom? Hi, Addie. Oh,
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, take a picture.
hang on. Oh, it's going the wrong way. That was going to be a picture of my ceiling. Okay. We'll do a boom. Are you guys ready? 1,
Faith, you have to
2.
move
Oh,
more
moving
today.
one? Okay.
Jess, can you do your video?
Huh? Oh.
Jessica G,
Yeah.
not Jess Berry. I know you're already on here. No, she's okay. All right, ready? 1, 2,
Ready?
3.
Yeah.
Okay, do one more. That was bad. Sorry.
Wait. No, not wait.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that one's better. Okay.
So
Thank
fun.
you.
Good night, you guys. Great job, everybody. And thanks for joining us, Janet and Jessica and Faith. It's good to see you
Yes.
again.
Guys.
So,
Okay, let me know if you have any questions after this.
Thank you guys.
bye.
Thanks for coming, Janet. Bye, guys.
Bye, Eddie.